Still start. Welcome back to the Fantasy Fanatics podcast. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Please clap. Please clap.
Yes, it sounds less sad if it's just more than me clapping. All right. Today we will be discussing quarter season power rankings. We will be covering our pick 6, which is the starts and sits of the week. And then we will also be discussing our predictions of the week. And I believe that will be it in this episode, since last episode we did go a little over time. So with that being said, we'll start off with the quarter season power rankings, and we'll just go back and forth a little bit.
So we're starting from 32 and then moving our way up? Or would you like to go 1 and then to the very bottom?
Yeah. We'll go 32 and move our way to 1. All right.
Okay.
So 32, why don't we say it on 3? We have 1, 2, 3. New York
Jets.
No need to justify that.
Was that a hard decision? Not at all.
They're really bad. And then they're sitting Darnold this week because of either injury or something. So they're going to be
injury, I believe. Maybe it's mono again. Who knows?
Who knows? It's going to be even worse. All right. So at 31, I personally have the New York Giants.
I have the New York Giants at 31 as well. Both. I feel absolutely horrible saying this, but New York, your teams suck.
And apparently your stadium's terrible too, because people keep getting injured over there. So
at least your upside is you got the Yankees, so
that's something.
That's something.
What if they lose to the Rays?
Well, then I'm sorry.
All right. At number 30, I have Washington football team.
At number 30, I have Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, you're low on them.
I'm pretty low on the Vikings.
Can I ask what your reasoning is?
Just the division they play in. They're going to have to play 6 games against... Well, I guess you can kind of... I feel like the Vikings playing the Lions could split 1-1, but to play the Packers twice and the Bears with a good defense, it's really rough for them to get those wins from them. And outside of, they're like... I feel like Justin Jefferson's going to be a nice emerging star, and you got Dalvin Cook, but outside of that, I really don't know much more what they have going for them.
But Washington football team kind of has the same thing. You have Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson, but who do you have outside of that?
I do like Kyle Allen better, who they're starting.
I'd still prefer Alex Smith, but
I would prefer Alex Smith too, but if I'm being honest, there's a few other teams actually I have below before I say Washington football team.
Oh, by the way, guys, if nobody in your league has Antonio Gibson, pick him up. He had a breakout week last week.
He's just been doing actually well this whole time. It's just he's been sneaking his way through it.
But Kyle Allen really likes to dump off the ball to running backs.
Yep.
So pick up Antonio Gibson, possibly start him this week. It's a tough matchup. I forget who they're going up against. We'll discuss it later. But it's a tough matchup, but Gibson might get a lot of dump off passes. And in full point PPR, that's perfect. 29, I have the Denver Broncos.
29, I have the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I understand it. I have... Okay. The reason I don't have the Falcons that low is because they're at least somewhat in these games.
And then they take themselves right back out.
Yeah. But I have them...
at least won a game. Even if it is the Jets, yes, but...
The Falcons haven't faced the Jets. That's not fair. All right. Who do you have at 29? Who'd you say? The Falcons?
The Atlanta Falcons.
All right. At 28, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I have the Houston Texans.
Oh my God. So do you think them firing Bill O'Brien will do anything good for that team?
Like I told you yesterday, this just feels like damage control. It doesn't feel like they're getting better. It feels like we're just stopping us from getting any worse.
But if it stops you from getting any worse, it
doesn't necessarily mean better. It doesn't mean that it means, okay, you're not going to get blown out this game. You're just going to lose by 7 instead.
But that's better.
It's better, but the result's the same.
Did you hear about the altercation between J.J. Watt and Bill O'Brien had?
No.
Apparently they got into an insane argument before the Pittsburgh Steelers game, and they kept yelling back and forth. And apparently, J.J. Watt called him out on his coaching and everything. And apparently, he got all the players to side with him and basically revolt against Bill O'Brien, which is partially why he got fired. And if you don't have
if you don't have the vote
side,
of confidence from your team, you're kind of screwed because it's like no one wants to play for you. Nobody believes in you to make the decision.
I will say, do you think in a vacuum, in a bubble, do you think they're better with Bill O'Brien as their coach or better without him? Because I'm on the side where they are significantly better without him.
I think they're better without him. I just don't know they're good without him.
Okay, fair enough. All right, 27. I have the Bengals.
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 27.
Okay. I will say the reason I have the Bengals so low is outside of Joe Burrows and Joe Mixon and T. Higgins, they have a lot of problem solving that they have to do. They have to fix that O-line in this upcoming offseason. They have to fix that defense. But
this team has a nice little asterisk that says, you're on your way up.
They are on their way.
You're getting better.
I would put them higher, but just because it's those three, I can't necessarily. Joe Burrow, I believe he is going to be their franchise guy. He certainly looks the part. He has been playing fantastic. Joe Mixon is definitely their franchise running back. T. Higgins, I want to see more from him, but that's a great trio. But they just need to fix parts around them.
Yeah.
So who do you have at 27?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
So the reason I had Jacksonville there is, and above these other guys, is unlike that, I believe they do have more than one piece for Jacksonville when it comes to their offense, at least.
Yeah.
You got
Chark, Laviska Shenault.
Yeah, he's coming up well. I do like Gardner. He hasn't played super well, but remember, he's only also in year 2.
Yeah.
So.
And he didn't play all of year 1.
And he didn't play all of year 1. They're still in a rebuild, so they're doing well for what they have and what they're trying to go for, I guess. Compared to, like I said, the Atlanta Falcons. These guys have been with the team for years, and they're 0-4.
I think partially because of the Atlanta Falcons, it's Dan Quinn who they probably need to fire. But
oh yeah.
All right, 26. I have the Detroit Lions.
26 is where I have the Washington Football Team.
Okay, I have the Lions so low because their defense is trash, and the only they blow leads. The only redeeming factor about this team is that Matthew Stafford will throw for like 5,000 yards or close to 5,000 yards per season, but oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name right now? The number 1 receiver for Detroit.
Kenny Golladay.
Kenny Golladay. He's your number 1 receiver. He's a great receiver. Marvin Jones is a great second. Excuse me, but I don't have any faith in that team.
The running back situation is kind of like, well, who is it?
Yeah, AP, Kerryon Johnson,
and
DeAndre Swift.
And every week it's one of the other guys. It's like, who knows which one of you guys is going to be the feature back this week?
Once again, I'm very disappointed because I believe Kerryon could have been that guy, but he just got injured, and now they won't really give him the opportunity, which sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you have?
That was Washington Football Team at 26.
Washington Football Team. Okay. I keep forgetting. All right. 25. I have Miami Dolphins.
At 25, I have the Detroit Lions.
Okay. I don't feel like I need to say much about Miami. Once they switch from Fitzpatrick to Tua, then maybe we'll see them either go up or down.
Yeah.
24, that's where I have the Falcons, just because they're at least in these games, so they have the opportunity.
24, I have Denver here. At least their defense has got some stuff going for it.
Yeah.
Unlike for the Falcons, their defense isn't there whatsoever. But that's where I have Denver. It's 25. Still bottom half, but high bottom half.
These 3 ones that I'm reading right now are the 3 that I was so surprised with you. So next, I have the Houston Texans at 23.
At 23 is Cincinnati for me.
Okay. 22, I have the Vikings.
22, I have Carolina Panthers.
Okay. I have the Panthers not too far off.
This is, though, if you had Christian McCaffrey there, you might be higher if he actually played, because you may have won another game.
Yeah.
But we'll see where that goes. This is still only
this
quarter
is
season.
quarter season. Once again, quarter season power rankings. This is how we would rank the teams going into it. Basically, the way
Should the
I look
season
at
end
it,
today, this is where I look at
yeah,
where teams stand.
it's not necessarily based off record either. It's kind of based off how they play.
Well, no, I mean I put what was it? Minnesota Vikings at 30, and they have
Yeah.
like a 1 win.
One
I
win.
still think they're worse than Atlanta. So
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of those things where it's like, I forgot where I was going. Forget it. So at 21, I have the Los Angeles Chargers.
you didn't say 22.
Yeah, I did. I said the Vikings.
Okay. Oh, that's right. 22. I had Carolina Panthers. So that's right. Okay, I said 22 before you did. I believe that I'm becoming.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, 22. I have the Vikings. The reason I do have the Vikings higher than you, by the way, is simply because of Dalvin Cook, and I believe he is a Christian McCaffrey guy that could carry them to wins.
Okay.
So yeah, 21. I have the Chargers.
21. I have the Dallas Cowboys.
So I'm gonna forewarn this. I have the Dallas Cowboys really high on my rankings.
Despite
really
one
high,
win, right?
Despite the one win, just because the fact that they are in these games like the Falcons, but they have more pieces. We'll get to it when I get to the Cowboys. But
okay.
For the Chargers, they're at 21 simply because Herbert could be their guy. They have a triage of running backs who can carry the ball like crazy. You have oh my goodness, you have Keenan Allen, but I don't believe they're good enough to be in the top 20 or the top 15. You know.
For me, I'm just like trailing right behind you at 20. For 20, I have the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then 20, I have the Carolina Panthers.
So the reason also I kind of wouldn't have them even a little higher is the fact that their coach said, when he's healthy,
Tyrod's coming back.
Tyrod's coming back. It's like, wait a minute. But Justin Herbert's like thrown for over 1,000 yards in 3 games and like 6 touchdowns.
And he looks pretty good.
And you want to take that out? You want to take away the experience of possibly getting to play these games?
Rumor is Anthony Lynn feels terrible about what happened to Tyrod, so he does want to give Tyrod the opportunity. But
it's Tyrod Taylor's story is unfortunate, but you have to play the guy that's playing better. I don't care how sorry you feel for him. I mean, I feel sorry for some other guys. I feel sorry for Josh Rosen. Doesn't mean I'm going to go start him right now.
Yeah. You know who I don't feel sorry for, but I also do at the same time? Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins, I feel sorry for the fact that he hasn't had a full season and he's basically already getting benched. But you look at his play and go, you could have been doing a little better.
A little.
Well, I think that's all it would take is for him to play a little bit better to actually keep the job. But he's staying pretty much flatlining at what he does.
He goes like this.
And then it's just like little divots in his play, you know?
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. These rankings are basically, the way I view them, is like 31 would beat 32, 30 would beat 31, 29 would beat 30, stuff like that. Is that kind of how you view it too?
Some of them,
kinda.
Some of them not.
That's where we're probably going to get into, when it's the top 10, that's where it's going to get difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we covered 20. So 19, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
19, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that's funny. They just beat the Niners. I don't want to get too much into it, but the reason the Niners are so low is this is quarter season. Their entire team is injured. So maybe at the halfway mark, we'll see them.
We'll see if Jimmy Garoppolo being back makes a difference rather than having Nick Mullins at quarterback.
But with their entire offense and their entire defense, they did lose to the Cardinals. Sure-handedly. So just leave that there. And you have the Eagles at 19?
Yes.
I have the Eagles at 18.
18, I have Miami.
Okay.
So Miami, I think, is getting better. They're definitely better than they were last season, I think. I'm wondering when Tua time is going to come, but for time being, Fitzpatrick apparently is still going to be the starter for week 5, they said.
Yeah.
This team has the pieces or whatever. Gaskin is all right, not great, not horrible. Who else you got there? Gasecki is we both knew this. He's a hidden gem there. He's good. Devontae Parker is so far so good. Staying healthy. That's fingers crossed. You can hope. But yeah, I think they got more than one or two pieces there, and can continue to play well. Then they can definitely be up there in that, moving towards the upper half.
True. So at 17, I have the Raiders.
At
The
17, I have
Raiders.
17. I have the Raiders as well.
The Raiders.
Just missed it on the top half. Injured receivers. Just not
Fumbling
converting
problem
on
at quarterback.
fumbling problem. Just not converting on the opportunities you need to has lost you basically these last two games, I feel.
Not stopping the offense when you have ample opportunity. It's there.
Yeah.
16, I have the Colts.
16, I have the Cardinals.
Okay. The Colts, I feel, are a very boring team to watch. They keep winning these games. You're getting Phillip Rivers at quarterback in a very stout defense.
I will say I have them surprisingly high on my thing.
Okay. Their defense is what's carrying them.
I will say, like, the fact that you know what you're getting, though, kind of also provides that consistency of winning the games.
True.
So that's
winning close, low-scoring games too. So.
But at the end of the day, the win is a win. Like,
yes.
They're 3-1. They lead that division.
All right. At 15, I have the Bears.
At 15, I have the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, so they made the top 15 for you.
They made the top 15, and they very well could be higher, but I need to see more.
Okay. At 14, I have the Cardinals.
At 14, I have the 49ers.
Okay. Don't need to get too into it. The Cardinals are just on a losing streak. They look bad. Kenyon Drake has played bad, so we talked about the Niners. 13, I have the Patriots.
I have the Patriots at 13 as well.
Hey, look at us.
Yeah, not quite top 10. Didn't look good last week, but they did play the Chiefs. But they do look like a decent team that could push for playoffs, maybe in a wild card spot. Well, they might even win that division just because of the other teams.
I don't know. I think the Bills are taking it.
They could win it, though, is the thing. It's like...
They could.
Like we said, quarter season, we'll see where half stands, but they could still even push for that wild card spot.
Who'd you say you have at 13?
That was the Patriots.
Okay. At 12, I have the Cowboys. So this 12,
I have the Bears. So
okay. So this is the big difference I have. It's just kind of like what I talked about earlier, how they literally have every single piece they need. They are in every single game.
Coaching.
And then they blow it. So I think they're almost like one or two pieces away. That's why I do have them so high. Yes, they are 1-3, but if you look at this offense,
very well could be 3-1.
They could be 3-1. They could be 4-0. They could be 1-3. They could be 0-4. This offense needs to stop turning the ball over. If they did, they could easily win these games. So, at number 11, I have the Cleveland Browns.
At number 11, I have the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. I think the Browns are for real. They're going to rely... you know who it reminds me of? The Titans from last year. They're going to be all run game, and the passes are going to be play action. And that's how they're going to win.
Tough, gritty football games.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to watch, too. At number 10, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
At number 10, I have the New Orleans Saints.
Okay. Ooh, you have the Bucs higher than the Saints?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that hurts. I don't like the way the Bucs are playing. They keep winning these games, and I don't know how.
It's just at the end of the games, they manage to find a way. Like we said, by all means, like we said last episode, the Chargers should have won.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the Chargers should have won against the Chiefs. They should have won against the Buccaneers, but you can probably accompany that to Justin Herbert's rookie kind of play.
And they should have lost against the Bengals.
And they should have lost against... Yeah, they're kind of having that same situation that the Chargers always seem to have of, you should have been winning this game, but you lost this one, but you managed to win this one. What?
Yeah. At number 9, I have the Tennessee Titans.
I have the Tennessee Titans at 9 as well.
Yeah, I don't like them that high, but I feel like I need to see more of them to understand.
They're like we said, like the Browns, just tough, gritty football, and they win the games.
Yeah, win the close games. Like it's
Close, yeah.
I believe they beat the Vikings 33-32, something like that 2 weeks ago. So something stupid. At number 8, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
At number 8, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. I have the Steelers just because, like the Titans, like the Browns, tough, gritty football, except this is a better defense, and I think this is a better offense than all of those other ones.
Yeah, for me, the Baltimore Ravens very well would be a top 5 if it wasn't for the fact that their passing game is almost non-existent and they exclusively rely on their run and defense.
True.
And even then, they've been having issues with some of the offense as well. So it's like what they have 3 running backs, including their quarterback. And if you don't have that top guy, I feel like you're just like running so many different plays so thinly. I don't know. It's good to have variety, I understand, but I feel like you really should be focusing in on some of these guys.
I'm with you there. At number 7, I have the New Orleans Saints.
I have the Indianapolis Colts at number 7.
Oh,
this is where I said I had them pretty high just because they are winning the games. The division's winnable for them. Not much more to say than what you said. Like it's bland football, but they're getting the job done.
I have the Saints that high just because their offense is high power. Yes, Drew Brees struggles to get the ball down the field, but do I think the Saints can beat the Bucs again? Yeah, I do. I think they can easily beat the Bucs with how they're playing right now too, surprisingly. And their defense is good enough. So, at number 6, I have the Los Angeles Rams.
At number 6, I have the Buccaneers. So they're not.
So we kind of
flip
those picks.
Yeah.
At number 5, that's where I have the Baltimore Ravens. Like you, I didn't want to put them in the top 5, but the only reason they are that high is just because of the dual threat nature of Lamar Jackson. You know, like, can he make some throws? Yes. Can he make all throws? Hell no. So I wanted to put them lower, but I really do think they're better than majority teams.
Number 5, I have Pittsburgh Steelers. So this one I feels like remember all those guys last year who were saying, "Oh man, these guys kind of suck," but they're actually playing well now.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big part of Ben Roethlisberger having that reputation with those guys still, you know, getting the ball to them and whatnot. We talked about Deontay Johnson. I really like Deontay Johnson, except for the fact that he seems to fumble every game. Whether it be a kickoff, a random play, or whatnot, he fumbles.
It's true.
Yeah, he has a horrible start, and then he just goes off after the fact.
Oh my gosh. At number 4, I believe we must have the same team then. I have the Buffalo Bills.
I have the Buffalo Bills as well.
Yeah. Buffalo Bills are playing so well. Josh Allen, I think I texted you this. Josh Allen has impressed me. Like, I went into the season saying, I don't buy the Josh Allen hype, and then I drafted him in spite of you. Was that this draft when I draft, or was that the Dynasty draft? That was Dynasty, huh? When you took Drew
Dynasty,
Lock.
yeah.
Yeah, in this draft, I did take Josh Allen just because I do like the dual threat nature, and his accuracy has improved, and that defense is good, and Singletary looks good, and Stephon Diggs is the league.
So would you rather have Devin Singletary or would you rather have that Jets running back? What's his name?
Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah, what's his name?
Are you talking about fantasy or are you talking about regular football?
I'm talking both.
Fantasy, I'm taking Singletary every day. I don't even like Singletary, but man, I will take him. Regular football, I do think Le'Veon Bell still has it. I just think Adam Gase is a garbage pit, and he absorbs the talent of these good players and he turns them into garbage. And then when he leaves, he gives it back. So
Hence the number 32 rank on this ranking.
they needed to fire Gase last game. Oh, and apparently if the Jets lose again, they're going to fire Gase. I don't believe it until I see it. They said they were going to fire Gase after they lost to the Broncos, and then they're like, oh, he's going to be with us for this foreseeable future.
Oh, yeah, all the players defend him for whatever reason.
Stupid. They need to do what the Texans did and just be like, get out, Gase. Garbage Gase. All right. I'll read my top 3 picks, and then you read yours. We have the same top 3 picks, but in different orders. So at number 3, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, I have the Seattle Seahawks. And number 1, I have the Green Bay Packers. The reason I didn't put Seattle Seahawks at number 1 is just because of the lacking on defense, while Green Bay does at least hold their opponents down. And then the reason I have Seattle over the Chiefs is because Seattle does have the other team turn the ball over a lot. I believe they're number 2 or number 1 in the league with +4 in the turnover differential. But the issue is they'll go ahead and score, but then they'll let the opponents go back ahead and score. So Green Bay, number 1, Seattle, number 2, Chiefs, number 3.
Behold, kind of an inverse here. I got Green Bay at number 3, Kansas City at number 2, and Seattle at number 1.
So you decided to pull the trigger on the Seahawks at number 1.
Yeah,
I buy
I
it.
just think we've been talking about it ever since the beginning. It's the meme, let Russ cook. It's worked. It's got them all these points. By all means, I feel if they didn't make these improvements on their offensive line, they could very well be middle of the pack team because they would possibly lose these games without their defense playing well.
Yeah.
But they haven't. They did what they were supposed to do. They're getting it done. Russ is putting up record numbers. I just think they're just so on fire through this first quarter of the season that they're just a great team. Kansas City above the Packers for me is just because of I still have those little doubts about like Green Bay's running game and Devontae Freeman being out, losing Lazard to surgery. I just don't know if I could put him above Kansas City, who at least when you see Kelsey, Hill, Mahomes, they're all healthy every week.
Yeah. All right, I believe that's it for the quarter season power rankings. We'll have more power rankings at the halfway mark. So 4 more weeks. Spoiler alert, pretty sure the Jets will still be 32. Even if they
I don't know. Maybe the Giants.
I don't know. I think the gap between the Giants and Jets is still pretty significant.
Okay, what if they lose Daniel Jones?
Let's not talk about it.
Let's not put that evil on him.
We don't want that evil out there. All right. Next, we're doing our pick 6. That's 10 fingers.
This many.
That many.
Well,
So
actually,
it starts.
It's 8 because we have the 2-point conversion of streaming, but numbers.
8. All right. Let's do this. Okay. So week 5 starts and sits. I forget how we do this already. Okay. Never mind. I remembered. All right. So my QB start of the week, you're going to disagree, is Deshaun Watson versus the Jaguars. Jags defense is not great, and Deshaun Watson has some extra ammunition to go ahead and play very well against the Jags.
Yeah, I can actually agree with that because the Jaguars have kind of been a little lackluster. Those teams are very close in that power ranking thing where they could be moved around. I could see it happening. That it'd be a good matchup for him. My QB start of the week is Ben Roethlisberger versus the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I get that. Makes sense.
That one, and I think Ben Roethlisberger is still available on a lot of people's fantasy areas. Like, they're
surprisingly, Deshaun is too. Like, people are dropping Deshaun because of his crap play so far, and I think it's about to change.
All right.
My running back starts of the week, David Johnson versus the Jags. once again, the Jags defense is lacking. David Johnson will have the opportunity, especially if the Texans get up. And then Joshua Kelly versus the Saints. Saints are middle of the road with rushing, and Joshua Kelly has opportunity. So let's see it.
All right. My running back starts of the week are Mike Davis versus the Falcons, and on the inverse, Todd Gurley versus the Panthers.
I like it.
So it's kind of almost an easy way out to say if you have a running back versus the Panthers, play him. But it feels like that's what I'm kind of doing.
Drake, apparently.
Except Kenyon Drake.
Jesus.
But either way, I feel either of these guys have good matchups this week. It's going to be a nice heavy run game.
I'm about to give you a big plus. My wide receiver start of the week is Justin Jefferson versus Seattle Seahawks, who you have, and you're playing me. So this is going to hurt. But my second start of the week is who I have against you, and it's a Mr. Robbie Anderson versus the Falcons. So both these players are going up against defenses that don't exist on passing outside of random interceptions. So it's going to be high scoring.
I have one of those guys you just said, Justin Jefferson versus the Seahawks. And my other wide receiver start was DJ Chark versus the Texans.
Who I also have, buddy. Let's go.
I do think he's going to probably be the primary target for this game for the Jaguar side.
Him or Chenault?
Yeah, I just have a feeling that whole Minshew and Chark relationship's still pretty good. It's going.
Chark got like 29 points last week.
Yeah.
And I didn't play him. Yeah, I know. My tight end start of the week is old man Jimmy Graham versus the Bucks. Jimmy Graham has become like a number one target in the Bears offense, which still isn't great. Once again, these aren't tight ends that everybody has on their roster, like Kittle and all these guys. So if you want to grab and take a shot on a tight end, old man Jimmy Graham is one of your best bets, I believe.
Yeah. I'll say it because he's the most picked up guy. I chose Dalton Schultz versus the Giants, which is probably the other option you might have considered.
I was going to say Dalton Schultz, but I had a feeling you went with him, so I just went with a different route.
Yeah. But, I think it's just a great matchup for him. Cowboys obviously high scoring. Giants are number 31 in our power rankings.
Yeah.
It's just a good matchup.
Which then gets to my defense start of the week. It's the Cardinals versus the number 32 team in the power rankings, the Jets. Cardinals start them. I mean, even if the defense doesn't play great, they're going to get a couple INTs, maybe some fumbles, especially Flacco's playing. So
yeah. My defensive stream of the week, and I don't know, I maybe should have changed it since Stephon Gilmore got COVID, but the Patriots defense versus the Broncos.
It's a good one.
It might still be worth playing, though, just for the fact that the Jets got 3 interceptions against them.
Oh, you know who
number one receiver target is Tim Patrick, apparently.
You know who might be a great defensive stream of the week? The Broncos versus the New England Patriots.
These both could be good defensive streams, yeah.
Yeah, especially if Cam Newton. I mean, if Cam Newton plays, stay away from Broncos defense. But I think he's out still. My streaming quarterback of the week is a Mr. Teddy Bridgewater.
All right.
I think Teddy Bridgewater against the Falcons is just great. He's got
an ideal matchup.
And then
every quarterback that's gone against the Falcons has had great success.
Seriously, so you need one. Go with Teddy.
I picked him up. I might start him. I don't know yet. I just have a feeling about him. But I said Justin Herbert versus the Saints.
You did pick up Justin Herbert, and I was just like, oh no, I'm scared.
I might do it. I'm not sure, just because I'm not completely confident on Russell Wilson's matchup this week.
They're playing the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just have this really odd feeling.
And it's a Sunday night game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. So sits at quarterback, I have Joe Burrow versus the Ravens. We kind of discussed it earlier. I'm not playing Joe Burrow versus the Ravens.
My QB sit of the week is whoever the Bears are starting at QB versus the Bucks.
Whichever one they decide to go with versus that decent defense.
Yeah.
My running backs sits. Goodness, can't talk. Sits of the week is Joe Mixon versus the Ravens. Joe Mixon got like a 44-point week last week. Congrats
Probably
to
not
him.
going to happen again against the Ravens.
Yeah, not against the Ravens. Like, I started Joe Mixon last week. He helped me win the week. I'm not starting him against the Ravens. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ate this defense up, but I don't think Joe Mixon can. And then my next my running back sit of the week is David Montgomery versus the Bucks. As we discussed yesterday, the Bucks defense is too good. So
yeah. My running back sits of the week are Devin Singletary versus the Titans. If this game even happens, we'll see. So asterisk on this game. You might just want to sit all your Titans players and try to find someone else ahead of time.
Yeah. Once again, talk to your commissioner about opening up more bench spots or something.
And then my other sit of the week is Antonio Gibson versus the Rams.
Interesting. I'm going to counter that. This list was made before they said that that Kyle Allen was starting, huh?
This was made in advance of that. So
would you mix that up knowing Kyle Allen is starting, or would you still stick with that?
I don't know. I mean, Aaron Donald's very disruptive. He can maybe even get there before he has time to check it down.
True.
So I'll stick with it for now. I'll be a man of my word that I wrote it on paper. Texted it on phone.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, my wide receiver sits of the week. You should sit him anyway because we don't even know if they're going to play. It's Corey Davis versus the Bills, and then Jamison Crowder versus the Cardinals. Jamison Crowder could be a high-profile target this week. The only reason I would sit him is because it is Joe Flacco.
Yes.
And then as for Corey Davis, Bills defense has stepped up. If the Titans are going to win this game, it's going to be based off the run because the Bills struggle against the run. But this game might not even be played. So if it's not even played, obviously you're not going to play Corey Davis. So, yeah.
My wide receiver sits of the week are Odell Beckham Jr. versus the Colts and Julian Edelman versus the Broncos.
Yeah, Julian Edelman with his 20 drops.
Yes, mainly for that reason is why I say he's just having like an off week, or he's having an off season really so far, especially if Cam Newton's still not playing quarterback. He even wasn't really targeted that much by Brian Hoyer or Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
On the other side, OBJ had a great game last week. I don't foresee it happening again because that was the Cowboys, and now they're going against the Colts, which have top 5 defense, I believe, against wide receivers. So I imagine they're probably going to lock him down.
True. All right, my tight end sit of the week is Tyler Higbee versus Washington football team. My reason he's the sit is because Washington's defense is at least somewhat decent, and Tyler Higbee is sharing receiving space with Gerald Everett. So I actually went ahead and dropped Tyler Higbee for Dalton Schultz. So,
all right, my tight end sit of the week, because I noticed people are picking him up because OJ Howard got hurt and I believe is out. Rob Gronkowski versus the Bears. Dude, people have him. No, people have him and people are picking him up.
Don't roster him. He's even
people
said
this man.
He's a blocking tight end. That's what he said he was.
Yeah.
He is.
So sit him. Do not
sit him. Do not start
Don't
that
even have
man.
him on your team.
He's not worth a roster space. Sorry, Gronk. You're not the same dude from like 7 years ago.
He's a decent blocker, but...
All right. My defensive sit of the week is the Colts versus the Browns. Yes, the Colts are the number 1 defense. Yes, I believe they have the highest turnover differential. The issue, like I told you, and like you somewhat think, the Browns are a top 15 team. They're a top 15 offense. Or actually, I think they're higher than a top 15 offense. But they're a top 15 team. But they're good enough to score on the Colts, to get yards on the Colts, to run and play action on the Colts. I would sit the Colts. I wouldn't feel bad starting them, but I had to go make a gutsy call, so I went with the Colts.
All right. My sit of the week for defense, I'm probably still going to actually end up playing them, but because I don't want to drop them or anything, or I might just stream it. I don't know. But the Ravens defense versus the Bengals, I actually kind of have a little bit of faith in this Bengals team to actually do something.
Do some damage.
Do something. I don't know necessarily who with, but something's telling me that they can put up a fight against the Ravens.
Fair enough. All right, and do you want to finally do the last announcement for this?
The I'm about to bust of the week.
Yes.
My bust of the week is Carson Wentz versus the Steelers. So Carson Wentz is a turnover machine, and the Steelers are a turnover factory. So yeah. They belong one and one together there. Do not start them.
I was gonna have Carson Wentz, but I also had a secondary just in case. My bust of the week is Deebo Samuel versus the Dolphins. Yes, it's an excellent matchup, but this is why it's a bust. Simply because Deebo Samuel was on the field 36% of snaps this past week.
As we said last podcast, they're easing him into this.
They're easing him into it. For those of you who have Deebo, just let him sit on your roster. Let him sit there, and he will get better with time.
Especially though, if Jimmy Garoppolo as well as coming back, he's probably going to want to go to Kittle first.
Yeah, exactly. So Deebo would be his secondary target, but just be prepared. All right, and next, that's it for our pick 6. Make sure you guys let us know how you think we did. You can ask us questions in the comments. We'll gladly help you out with that and roster lineups and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Now, in terms of our predictions, this week we're going to skip over the over-unders. So we're just going to go straight with the predictions.
Make it a little easy, huh?
Make it a little easy.
All right, okay. Sounds good to me.
So we already did the Bucks and Bears.
We both chose the Bucks.
Yeah, we both chose the Bucks. Go check out yesterday's podcast. You'll probably enjoy it too. A lot of news. So Sunday, Rams at Washington, and then Rams are favored by 7. I'll go ahead and take Rams.
I'm taking Rams as well. The team's good. We don't know what we're necessarily going to be getting with Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest factor in this game, but it's also just overall the Rams are a better team.
Yeah. All right, next we have Panthers at Falcons. I'll go ahead and take the Panthers.
I, too, will take the Panthers on this one. Slowly getting better, and I believe we'll continue to get better as we start getting Christian McCaffrey back.
And Teddy Bridgewater is getting better as well.
Teddy Bridgewater's getting his motion with the ocean.
All right, if this game happens, Bills at Titans.
Asterisk this game.
Asterisk. If it happens, I'm taking the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills. They're a good team.
Yeah,
they're just excellent.
Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs are 13-point favorites.
I wonder why.
I'm taking the Chiefs, but I don't think they'll win by 13. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'll take the Chiefs. I don't know about winning by 13 either. In fact, they could win by like 20. Oh, trust me, I've watched enough of these games to know how this game works.
So you think it would be over that spread?
I think it could even be over the spread just because they'll pack it on.
It's crazy. Next, we have Cardinals at Jets. Cardinals are 7-point favorites. Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals.
With as bad as the Cardinals have been playing, I think I would still take them.
Over the number 32?
Don't get me wrong. I think the Jets will win a game. I don't know which game. And it's going to be completely by surprise, and I don't think any of us will see it coming.
Let's say they beat the Cardinals. How bad do you feel for the Cardinals?
Not too bad. I will say they drop.
Significantly. That's 3 games in a row, and then one of them to the Jets. All right. Next, we have Eagles at Steelers. Steelers are 7-point favorites, and I'll take the Steelers on this one.
Oh, yeah. Like I said earlier, turnover machine versus turnover factory.
Exactly.
1 and 1 together. They are just match made in heaven.
All right. Then we have the Bengals at the Ravens. Ravens are 13-point favorites. I'm taking the Ravens with a question.
I'm taking the Ravens. You said it was 13 points again.
Yeah.
This one's
Bengals
what I
will
say.
cover.
I think the Bengals will cover no problem here. In fact, like I said, I think they're going to put up a good fight.
I just don't think
like they're going to win by like 3 or 4.
I just don't think the
like 13.
Bengals defense is good enough to stop that Ravens offense. All right, next we have Jags at Texans. Texans are 6-point favorites. I'll take the Texans.
You'll take the Texans.
Yeah.
I believe I've
taken the Texans literally every single game they played.
I've taken them, I believe, like 3 out of the 4 times, and they still haven't won. So I'm gonna go with the opposite this time and go with the Jaguars.
In hopes that they do. Next we have Dolphins at Niners. Niners are 8-point favorites. I'll take the Niners, especially if Garoppolo.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like Garoppolo as a quarterback, but I think he's better than Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
Kittle's back and he played well. I don't see any reason for him to not continue playing well.
Mostert might come back.
It's just working out for the Niners right now.
Yeah. All right, then we have Colts at Browns. Colts are 1.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Colts.
I'll split from you. I'll say the Browns.
Okay.
I think this game can go either way.
Yeah, I'm very unsure.
It depends on how good will Ernest Johnson do with Kareem Hunt, because I'm not relying on Baker for this game.
No, not at all. You can't. Next we have Giants at Cowboys. Good news is somebody has to win this game.
Somebody has to win this division.
Dallas is 9.5-point favorites. If Dallas wins and the Eagles lose, then they take the division right now. I mean, Cowboys take it, right?
I say the Cowboys myself.
I say the Cowboys, but man, wouldn't it be crazy if the Giants won?
Yeah.
If you're a Cowboys fan, you just burn your jersey.
The number 31 team losing to who would for you was the top 16.
The talent is there, so they should win.
Isn't this what we said every week?
No, because I took the Browns last week.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, essentially you're like, the talent's there.
That's what we
say every week. The talent's there.
The talent's there. I don't know.
Print that on a Dallas Cowboys shirt. The talent's there.
I think the Cowboys will win, but this, if I had to choose, this would be like my almost like upset where it's like the Giants might take it, or the questionable. I don't know. The Giants might take it just because of how bad that Cowboys defense is. Think about it.
Definitely have a better shot if Saquon was still in.
Giants almost beat the Rams. You had the Rams ranked higher.
That is true.
They almost did it on the last drive too. Next we have Broncos at Patriots.
If this game happens as well.
Yeah. If the game happens, I think I'll take the.
I'm taking the Patriots, so I don't know if that influences your decision if you want to split. But
I'm going to take the Broncos partially to split, but partially because if they don't have Cam Newton and they don't have Stephon Gilmore.
That's number one person on your offense and your number one person on your defense.
I think the Broncos can win it. All right. Then the Sunday night game, we have Vikings at Seahawks. Seattle 7-point favorites. Anytime they play each other in prime time, Seattle typically wins, and I don't think that's going to change. I'm taking Seattle.
I'm taking Seattle as well. But like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I want to start Russ for this game or not.
That's how I felt the past couple years that I've had him.
There's this certain games you go, maybe I shouldn't.
There's
always one or two games a year where he's just like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I had Russ, I always never played him against the Vikings because it's always been scary whenever they play. So
yeah.
All right. Then finally we have the Chargers at the Saints. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Saints.
I'm taking the Saints as well in this one. Again, the talent's budding in Los Angeles. The Saints, though, have already budded and are in bloom. They're Drew Brees on the decline, yes, but still getting the job done.
Very true. All right, and that is the predictions of the week. Not much else to discuss here. Just share this podcast around. We'd like more viewers. We want to interact with you guys. Leave comments. Leave some likes. We'll like some likes. We'll like that you like the likes.
I like that.
I like it too. Spread it around. And once again, we still have a guy working on the theme song or opening song. Don't know how much longer it's gonna be, but fingers crossed. Hopefully soon. He says he's gonna have like 3 or 4 options for us. So hopefully we get him soon. And then in terms of podcast quality, we're slowly trying to upgrade. Just the editing software and recording on Skype is not the best option. Sometimes, for some reason, the audio quality doesn't transfer over to the editing software. So when it starts to be able to transfer, when we can upgrade editing software or recording software, we'll go ahead and do that.
One day we're going to have all this captions and everything. We'll have all this here. Backdrops, immaculate.
Yeah, we'll have backdrops instead of pixels behind this man in yellow.
Star NFL players with
us. Oh my goodness. We'll have some NFL players introduce our podcast. Dude, my sister knows the girl that's dating Josh Allen. You think I could
get him to be like, we could tell him how much we love him.
We could be like, hey, this is Josh Allen and you're listening to the Fantasy Fanatics. Ooh, wouldn't that be good?
And then I can be like, I believed in you, Josh Allen, but Dylan here didn't.
I'm a believer now. One can dream. Hopefully we'll get to that level. Hopefully we'll get to the level where we can have introductions and slides and maybe an actual studio or something. But we need your help for this, everybody.
Dream big.
Dream big, dream large. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening.
So long, everybody.
Tune in either next Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll be there.
Alrighty.
All right. See ya.